From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Nehrenz.
All right, it's been a little soggy here these last few hours as we look from downtown Tulsa. Primarily rain, but you can't really maybe see it here at the moment. We've seen a few snowflakes come flying by at tower camera level, which is several hundred feet above the ground. But that's what we're watching for. Eventually, just cooling things. We have to cool things down a few more degrees. That's why this is kind of a slow and steady process, especially for snow lovers waiting and waiting for this. We got to get those temperatures to cool a few more degrees and kind of cool the column of air from above the ground down to the surface to get more of that snow near the ground. So we've seen a little bit of that showing up on tower cam level in here in downtown. Bartlesville, if you look really carefully, again, it's just wet roads. You don't see any accumulation right now, but there's some snow mixing in with the rain there. And that's a trend we'll continue to see through the afternoon hours. Here's a look at the wide view on radar first. Notice there are some pockets where there's not a whole lot of precip falling. Now this will continue to fill in with time later this afternoon. But those areas of dry air, we always watch those closely with these winter weather systems, because when dry air starts kind of working its way into a system, it can start to cut off, precip totals pretty quickly and can lead to, some areas seeing a whole lot less from a precip standpoint. So just west of Tulsa, we had some rain earlier. Now, not a whole lot happening for the time being in Payne and Pawnee, western Osage County. A little bit of light snow mixing in northern Osage County into southeast Kansas. And our guys watching this in the metro, again, wet roads. But we'll see their shots here for the time being. You notice Brandon again here in the Tulsa metro. Just wet for the time being, and that's how it's going to stay for most of the afternoon. Bob Roloff just west of Tulsa out from Highway 51 back near Manford, just fine. Muskogee Turnpike looking good. You're going to see some of those crews going through, just keeping an eye on things. But again, not going to be a whole lot of work on the roads until some snow falls, because with the wet roads, they're not going to do a lot of pre-treating. Further to the south, that's where there's been more of that snow changeover. Here's the look. You can see that snow changeover where it's gotten pretty heavy along the I-40 corridor just south of I-40, and that's going to spread its way into Okfuskee County, and it's already doing so, and then into Hughes County and Pittsburgh and McIntosh counties with time this afternoon. So here's the look from Okemah area again from JD. It's, looks similar to earlier, but looks like we're seeing a few more snowflakes mix in even more, and some big, heavy wet snowflakes there. Voncaster has been near just south of Shawnee, and you can see some more accumulation starting to build up, especially on the grassy surfaces. Still a lot of wet roads there, but we'll see more and more of that transition its way into southeastern Oklahoma with time this afternoon, particularly near and south of I-40. But again, watching those temperatures carefully. I mean, if we can get it down to even 33 or 34 degrees, doesn't have to get all the way down to 32, that will aid the transition into snow a little bit better. So as you just saw, that's happening in parts of Okfuskee County. That will try to spread its way east with time. But notice these temperatures, the temperatures right now in northeastern Oklahoma are simply just a few degrees too warm, which is what we expected pretty much up to this point. It's going to take a little more moisture to move in to knock these temperatures down near and east of Tulsa, which we expect will happen a little more through the afternoon hours. So again, there's the wide view on radar again, and temperatures along with it still need to cool a little bit more. And the longer those temperatures stay just in the mid to upper 30s, and the longer we stay with rain, the more that would knock down some of the snow totals in our northern counties, which is why we've been talking about from the beginning that there's a pretty sharp cutoff on those snow totals, potentially. So through the afternoon, rain gradually changes to snow. More snow will fill in this evening. There's a chance some areas in northeastern Oklahoma don't see a whole lot of snow flying until later this evening into tonight, once we get past the dark time frame. And then there will be more road issues later tonight, but it's mostly going to be slushy roads. With those temperatures still near freezing, we're not going to have a whole lot of just solid frozen roads, which is definitely good news. So snowfall totals still highlighting just southeast of I-44, where there's that 4 to 7 inch snowfall potential this afternoon. But it is going to be a sharp cutoff, and that dry air that I just mentioned working its way in could lead to, from a lot to a little. Right on the I-44 corridor, kind of on either side of Tulsa, we could go from some heavy totals just south of Tulsa to some pretty light totals to the north if that dry air sticks around. So that's where kind of that bust potential is, so to speak. And as you know, that's one of the things that always makes snow forecast tricky around here, is if that dry air hangs in for a long period of time north of Tulsa this afternoon, that could cut into those totals. That's just something we have to kind of watch hour by hour as the trends continue to change. But the general trend still remains that snow changeover will happen a little more efficiently, a little more quickly near and south of I-40 first. Near and north of Tulsa, we'll have some snow mixing in, but it may not be 100% snow until later this evening, at least in some spots. And then we'll have snow into tonight, some locally heavy. But then this quickly exits early tomorrow morning, pre-dawn, a lot of the steady snow moves out of the area. Since temperatures will still hold near freezing, could still be some messy roads tomorrow morning's commute as well. In fact, I think there will be some of that, but we'll be above freezing Wednesday afternoon. Starting to warm up late in the week, but then there's another blast of Arctic air showing up at the end of the weekend.